the cost of, if we prep it, I don't know if you'd have, you're only really prepping it though for major events, because otherwise, the difficult thing you get into with this, right, is that if I say I want to rent it for 2 hours on Wednesday night, then are you sending a tractor and a guy down to prep it? Most likely not.
Well, no, I think every time a group rents it, we send someone down to prep.
Even if it's just, instead of sitting and walking for an hour?
It gets prepped once, but then they can choose to hire, to have a guy sit there for an hour, or to come down at a certain time to work it one more time.
If it's the
Or they
same
have to
group,
pay extra.
if it's the same group.
For a major event.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just saying, there's no way.
2 hours for the employee then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's $60.
Yeah, but
right
she's
there.
saying it's $35 with overtime, basically to cover one person, not equipment, not anything.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's why I'm saying, let's back off and figure out what the costs actually really are, because why are we going upside down? You know, we at least cover our costs, whatever those are. I mean, figure out the equipment, the fuel, all the stuff.
So if we figured that out and got that out to you this week, and then you replied, and then we could have, we're trying to get this ready to go. for the
Yeah,
next
I hear you.
meeting, so,
Yeah, I hear you.
And then maybe we could write the resolution. Would that work for you?
Well, is there going to be a resolution? But, I mean, the resolution is like, we're going to rewrite the resolution, only accept the fee schedule, and that is not the.
Yeah,
We would
we
adopt
have
the
to,
fee schedule.
we have to, if we're changing it, we have to do it, we should adopt it.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. That's what we're planning to do. Okay, if we've got a few minutes here, we could maybe, Cindy, as you mentioned, maybe we could discuss a little bit about our process for reviewing our ordinances. Shauna, prepared all of you a new book, and so we just wondered if the process could be, if you start reviewing this, and if you have any questions on anything, you would just mark it and call it in and put that on the agenda for whatever area that you went over. We felt it might be kind of hard to actually just go through the book during a meeting, you know, so a couple weeks in between time, we could go over that, and if you have any questions, just call Shauna, if that's one that you think we should review, and then she can put that specific ordinance on the agenda.
Now, do we want, what are we gonna do the Title 10? Are we gonna do, we're gonna do 1 through 12 first?
It's
or
just
we
1 through 12.
we don't have to worry about this.
Right.
So it's how much can we cover in a 2-week period? Is that kind of what we need to?
Yeah, so just so the process can get very long if we're doing one chapter at a time.
Yeah.
But if you want to do the entire book, one chapter at a time, that's almost about a three-meeting process just for the one ordinance. So you will have to bring it for discussion, bring it for public comment, and then bring it back to approve it. So it might be beneficial to group them together, you know, or section out the book, like chapters 1 through 4, and then 4 through 6, and we'll do that together in chunks. And, I mean, you can do it however you want. You can read through all that, and see where you have questions. Reed was gonna check on the quorum thing. He wasn't sure if we could go down to three people as a quorum. He's gonna check on that. Usually it's 4 is a quorum, 3 of you, and then the mayor makes the quorum, and you're the voting body. Not necessarily 4 council members and then the mayor. So you, I mean, you kind of can remember when we only had 2, we had to have, before pre-COVID, we had to have someone like on their phone. You can have 3 bodies.
So like this doesn't, so that, I guess the verbiage, like, and this is what kind of flagged why I brought some of this up. So if, when I started to read it, so the city council consists of 6 voting members.
Correct. So the mayor's technically a voting member. He doesn't unless there's a tie.
But he's not an active voter. I think it's worded wonky.
And that's Reeves is gonna look.
I think that's when I looked at it, because if you read other So if you read like, I went on Plain City and Roy and their sites,
Yeah,
and I mean, the council votes, the mayor breaks the tie. The council, the mayor's a chairperson, just like the vice president of the Senate is, of the country is the chairperson of the Senate, breaks the tie, but she doesn't vote on a regular basis.
no, and I don't know, you have to talk to Reed. My assumption is because we've adopted Robert's Rules of Order, automatically the chair is that member that votes during the tie, like implied. But it's up to you, and it's up to you, and then speak with Reed about what we can do to clarify that, if you'd like to see clarification in that.
So I mean, and Reed's not here. I wish,
He
will be.
He will be on.
he'll be on. Oh, he's gonna join us
He said
on.
he was gonna be on. Brandon, I think Brandon or him will be on like at 7.
So one of the other, like, in that discussion, Robert's rule is something I'm pretty familiar with. And then, so in that, when we voted on, a new city council member, the mayor cast a vote, and my question was, did the mayor have a vote?
So the mayor had a vote and he was a tie.
But we read all the votes.
Yes, I had the votes. They were done by ballot and the mayor was selected. So it was only read after a tie.
I was just curious of how that,
So we try to maintain the mayor's vote as non-biased as possible, but she has the right to not vote at all, which would cease the motion, even if he was for or against it, to have you guys be the voting body. But in that case, it was done by ballot, but the mayor was marked specifically.
okay.
So it was not.
That's why I was, when that happened, and I didn't bring it up because I thought, I was, how it turned out was fine, whatever, but procedurally, I was confused. So,
So Sean, I have a question on this. Is the preface supposed to be first page?
You know what I did in this particular case? So I printed it out exactly how it is now codified on the web. So I just printed out exactly that. We have the preface and then it goes through all the chapters. So I printed it out exactly how the residents see it online. And then that way we could go through it, and that's how I'll actually change it in the new system. This is exactly what everybody's doing.
So it's got part of section 9, 11,
Oh, no.
before the preface.
Then that's my fault.
No. Mine's okay.
backwards?
Yeah. It should have the preface and then title one.
Brian's got the wonky book.
Seeing if actually anybody's gonna read it. So apparently
Okay,
you
so-
read yours.
So Ryan, you passed the test.
Exactly. So do we want to do 1 through 4 for this next meeting then, or what do we want to do?
Or if you want to like utilize like the work session on like the fifth Thursday, bring it all to that discussion. It's really up to you, just to know that if you do it chapter by chapter, it is almost a 3-meeting approval process. So if you guys are wanting to
So the 5th Thursday.
I don't know, I haven't looked at the calendar. Lump them together 1 through 4, kind of discuss that work session, talk with Reed and Brandon, see if there's something that really needs to be changed, or just discussing it with legal gives you a greater understanding of what the content is.
Might need clarification, right?
Right, it would just possibly be. I mean, there are some things in there that I'm sure need to be updated. But I don't know.
My thing is just trying to make sure that all of us have a chance to read it and make sure we're understanding what rules we're governed by. Like, we read it, but if you read it by yourself, my interpretation can be different than, Brad's interpretation can be different than Cindy's, and it's like, what is the interpretation of how things work? There was, just,
Well, we don't need to do that on everything. If I read through it, see something I don't quite understand, then
oh, it is 7
Okay.
o'clock. Yeah.
So let's just do 2 chapters.
And if there's something we have to discuss more than just clarification, then we can worry about that, but it might just be clarification on.
Do you want that on the agenda, or do you want to discuss that in work session?
I think work session is fine until we get to where we're gonna make a
And if you feel
change.
like it actually needs to be changed, we'll
A lot of it was, if I remember right from before, a lot of it's just wording
So
needs to be
there's a
changed.
Fifth Thursday in April, so if we did, well, it's 6 more meetings to get through the whole book, isn't it?
So you said two, set,
That's not horrible, I mean, I don't think.
That's fine.
How often do we do it?
Well, it's just, yeah.
well, during the, make that a part of our official meeting.
That's fine.
But seeing that at 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting of council to order for Thursday, February the 4th, 2021. And we're able to have a pledge of allegiance now that we're here in the chamber. So Councilmember Hill will lead us in the pledge of allegiance, and then Councilmember Cox will lead us in the reverence.
Please repeat with me.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear eternal Father, I know we're grateful for the blessings that we receive. We're grateful for the city that we live in, the state that we live in this, in our country. Please watch over those leaders that are directing those areas that they can have that inspiration and the knowledge that they need to do things fairly and justly. We're grateful for the moisture that we've received lately. Please help us that we can continue to receive moisture for our needs this year. We're grateful for the blessings that we've received in the way of a vaccine. Please watch over those that are still suffering and still suffering the effects of the virus. Please help us that we can do our part to be good examples and to do those things that are right. These blessings we pray for in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Well, I don't see that there'd be any conflicts of interest. I can't imagine when the council on any agenda item tonight, but if you've had a chance to read over the minutes, if any of you have any questions or amendments for those minutes, if not,
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the January 21st meeting, 2021, as written.
okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Hill. We have a second.
I'll second it.
We have a second from Councilmember Cox. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All of you, I think, had a copy of the Hooper City Business License Report. That might be of interest to you. You know, you see all the businesses that have here in Hooper that we've issued licenses for. And tomorrow, we should have a report back from the county that itemizes all the businesses that may have been helped through the CARES money that was issued to them. So that should be real beneficial, and we'll have a chance to review that with the council once we get that. At this point, we have citizens' comments. Shauna, is there any citizens that may be on there that would like to make a comment? So we'll move right to our city business, which is a discussion on the process to review the city ordinances. And this will be Title 1 through 12, excluding Title 10. And of course, Title 10 is our zoning and subdivision ordinance, and we'll come back and review that at a later time. So we would want to have just a little discussion, you know, like we were having in our work session. Councilmember Hill, we had kind of a suggestion as to how we could approach this.
So obviously, it's gonna take a little homework on all of our parts to come prepared to the meeting. I think at least two chapters we could handle per every 2 weeks. Unless anybody wants to do more than that.
Okay, so two chapters every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if there's no questions on them.
Right,
And when we come back, then we just get to go for the next 2 weeks.
right.
So that seems real reasonable. Does everybody in favor with that? And this would take a motion or anything like that, but, that sounds good.
And then just discuss it in our work meeting or make it an agenda item.
Well, what, you know, that could be discussed in a work meeting. There's a possibility that would get clarification then. But there's really not a problem putting it on the agenda either. Sure.
And if-
no, oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, if it's on the agenda, then if anyone wants to review it, if all this is online, any citizens, they can do that at that time. And they'd know where we were.
Timeline for discussion. The same would be that. Not like a public meeting where any process of reviewing that. And that is separate from when we actually go to change the.
Make changes, okay.
Okay.
But there would be a timeline for it.
That would be, yeah, I think.
Okay.
Because this is all online, correct? So everybody can
It's all in line.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's good. Yep.
Mhm. Give us any suggestions they have.
Yep. Okay.
And for those that are in our meeting now, but we're not here, so if you have feedback on that, you know, we do them, give us feedback. Let us know about that. We did.
Okay.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Again, we open it up for citizens' comments. If there's anyone that has would like to comment.
I'd like to make a motion that we, people are thinking about maybe that we, move from our formal meeting back to work session for a minute to discuss a few things that we weren't able to discuss in our work session prior.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Councilmember Paulson to go back to a work session to discuss some things we didn't get covered, and have a second from Councilmember Hill. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
So just a couple of things, and we just ran out of time before I could bring them up in our work meeting, but I had some discussions that I want to talk about a little bit. And you can clarify this, Mayor, I don't know, but it was told to me that we, as a city, had a discussion with the citizen talking about developments and different things going on. And it was relayed to them that we would have our general plan open until June of 2022. Is that a plan? Like, do we have a timeline on our general plan? And if so, is that a realistic timeline?
Well, the Wasatch actually, we received the grant. They set up a timeline. That is what they said, is that by summer of 2022. That's just a timeline that they set. But as they went through and looked through the different studies that have to be made, in fact, they've had such a good response from the members of the city, citizens. A lot of interest in this. That's just a time. Hope it would move through faster than that, but it should be completed by.
So as the city staff and management, we're currently telling anyone that comes to us, whether it's a 1 acre lot, 10 acre lot, whatever, that based on our position, no development will be approved then until June of 2022.
That, what we're talking about is the red.
Comment online, it just can't pick up microphone, so you can try to talk.
Oh, okay, so the only thing that resolution did was address rezones. So if someone came in and it's already zoned for residential building, 1 acre, and that's what they want to do, nothing stopping that process at all. Someone comes in and zoned 1 acre, and now they even want 1/3 acre. Or they may want 1/2 acre. And those are the ones that we look at if it's a big subdivision. Smaller ones, only 3 or 4 homes. But when they come in with a rezone for 30 homes, or an amount like that, then we just felt like the purpose of the resolution was to say, in order to get this, have time to really look at our plan, we want that to be a moving target. All the time we're trying to do studies on there's subdivisions, large subdivisions that are going in that would impact the things that we are studying, like the roads, and water, and all those kinds of things. So does that kind of answer it? Anytime there's a change of use, anytime there's a change of land use that requires a rezone, that's what the resolution is.
So when like subdivision or developers call, I'm usually the one that they speak with. And I make it very clear that there is no moratorium on rezoning or building in the city. And there was, however, a resolution put in place to encourage the city to be able to come up with a comprehensive general plan. So that's the only thing that I let them know. We're still having concept meetings, we're still having plans being brought in for subdivisions, all that still kind of keeping away.
And do the citizens know that they have the right to come to the city council for that approval?
But we visit all those, right? We will revisit, even if somebody came and asked, even though there's resolution was passed, it still will come to the city council, right? And
In fact, that very question was asked during the concept meeting. The developer came and said, well, could I still attend, the commission meeting, and council meeting, and during the public comment part, talk about their subdivision?
Well, they should be able to be on the agenda.
I was just gonna say, there's,
Any citizen has the right to come before the city council at any given time to solicit an approval of a zone change, of any of that stuff. Because, and I know this caused conflict before, but this body is the land use body authority for our town. We're the land use authority the city council is. And so we have the ability, whether we approve or not, and that would be between the 5 voting members. But if someone wanted to have a 50-acre subdivision go in, they have the right to come here, petition before us on the agenda, and get approval whether they can move forward or not. Correct?
Right. Yeah, we've never had anyone ask to be put on the agenda. The only question we've asked is, could they come here and speak during the public comment about that? You're right. If they want to be put on the agenda, for some reason,
I just want to make sure that we're not making decisions for the city without having the right to make decisions for the city.
somebody can come and still request before the planning commission that they want to be on the agenda to request a rezone. The planning commission votes on that, yes or no, it still comes to
Still comes to
us,
council.
for the council to vote yes or no. All the resolution does is gives us a reason to put a pause on any one of those requests. That's all it does.
We basically just said, hey, during this time, we would like to stay away from that, and that's doable, but it's not an absolute.
Anyone that's ever called within the resolution that reflects the current feeling of the planning commission as they work towards comprehensive general plan, but it's always been stated that they have a legal right to do that. But this is just like a forewarning or forbearing to let them know where the city is going. And it might even be in their best interest to have those conversations separately with the planning commission as they're dealing with the general plan, as opposed to paying the fees for a rezone that might not come to fruition.
That's what I told a citizen, that very thing. I said, you'd be better off in a conversation with the general plan and the planning commission, letting them know what your future desire is for your piece of property, than paying the fee to come do that. Right. Right. So that being said, do we have on our website that invitation to participate in the general plan discussion? Can anybody participate in that?
And then it also has a link to the specific general plan website. And that's where you can sign up for focus groups, you can sign up for any kind of notification, anything, you can sign up to do for that. And so, and then we're just rolling into kind of the second open house, the possibility of the second survey, getting the first kind of drafted map ready for public input and design. So that's kind of coming down the way, like March.
About the
Timeline
9th, about the
actually
9th of
on-
March, right?
Is the timeline actually on there too, isn't it?
The timeline itself isn't on there because it's so long and it's kind of a moving target as we progress further and faster through certain aspects of the general plan. So what I have been doing is posting about the planning website's on there. You can go to that website, you can sign up for notifications directly. That way you can sign up for focus groups as a separate process. But on the website, as far as like timetables, I probably post those about 2 weeks prior. And then I try to post like a scheduled 2 or 3 times published post on Facebook that says, hey, committee meeting, hey, your survey, hey, all these types of things so that everyone can be involved. But I didn't post the entire timeline because I didn't want, you kind of get lost in that. So I've just been posting, like you can see, like I posted the first one and then I strike through saying we've done this one, now we're on to this. And so here's this, what's coming up next is this, and then that's the date to be decided. So kind of rolling through that. But then the general plan website has more detail.
Okay. So I don't know about anybody else. I know Cindy's involved quite heavily with the general plan, but the rest of us, for myself, I feel out of the loop with the general plan. I don't know. We need to have somebody from the planning commission or maybe Cindy come or prepare just a little thing on the progression of the general.
A month or something that would give us kind of an update of.
Update us once a month or tell us where we're at, or, because, I mean, ultimately, the council's gonna vote on the general plan, correct? So, right,
So and that's what the goal with creating the general plan commission out of the planning commission, is that it became a public body. So those are noticed as like a public meeting. I do take minutes even though it is just a review. But like last time, we had our last one January 19th. And they, posted like the agenda, but it gave a detail of like the initial survey we got and what those details were. So, yeah, I mean, whatever.
I mean, even just an email to us saying, hey, here's when we're having a review, or, I literally have gotten nothing on the general plan. without
And they're public meeting,
without
so,
going and finding it myself, I've gotten no invitations, no, hey, we're doing this, this is the update.
I can, try to, yeah, I just checked it. Similar to like how we run these meetings, like I don't necessarily send you all planning commission, I'm doing all the council meetings, so I had kept them separate just for like my own sanity. So I wasn't like missing people or like I included some people sometimes in other times, so maybe it's something that it doesn't kind of like post it there that everyone could see it, but I can make sure that.
well, I can take that on. That's something you don't have to, that's not another thing. If, you know, if you're trying to keep things separate, that's something I can take on. That's not, so.
I'm gonna vote on something that we just spent a year and a half doing. I'd like to be in the loop.
We'll have to go over it, I'm sure, Barry.
But I'd like to be in the loop now rather than later.
One of the things is, we'll have to go over it, but once we're a year and a half down the rabbit hole, any major changes are pretty tough to go backwards and change if there's some strong disagreements with the council.
Well, and this is so much harder than last time, because last time you actually meet, and you could come to those meetings, you could make your comments, and you still can, it's just online.
Online,
So
yeah.
It's much more difficult.
Yeah, the online stuff it's nice if you can't be to meetings, but it's really difficult to have input when you're not there. I felt the same with city council. It's like, it's great, but outside of the work at hand, it's really tough to have discussion. I feel like we talk over each other a little bit.
I'll get in touch with you and we'll figure it out and then I'll put that out to all of you guys.
Meeting today with Wasatch Regional Council just about that, trying to come up with concepts to help people physically use the building.
I wanted to follow up on, because we have a lot of, but, and I don't mean to beat, you know, a dead horse, hopefully it's not a dead horse, but, the city planner position, we talked about it in detail a couple meetings ago, and then it just kind of went away again. Where are we at on that?
So we took all the information that we came in. Actually, Shauna has put together kind of a job description.
But if you haven't, then I am disappointed, but I did just get that. I did get a rough draft of what I thought the intent was behind that position. I did just this beginning of this week, gave it to the mayor and Jared, and then Reed will look at it first. So it's just in draft, but it's in an official like position, salary, you know, qualifications, education, what. Just with that.
Thank you.
And we have interviewed for some public works people, you know, because we've had a couple retire there, so we went through the interview process. So I think, next week we ought to be able to come up with some selections there to start filling those boards. So that'll be really good too.
Great. Thank you. Those are all I had in my head.
So what's protocol now? So we have that motion.
Yeah, was
So
it-
we have to
so-
go back to the meeting so we can dismiss or, so if I make a motion, we
To go back to the meeting.
go back to our, so I will make a motion that we go back to our city council meeting.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second that we go back to our city council meeting. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that was unanimous. So we have completed all our city business in the city council building, that's city council meeting. So I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, thank you. Hey, Ryan, you and Brad will have to just take a look at that other monitor. And I think, did you see it when you came in? Well,
Well,
that's
why are
what-
we on this page?